because I did a show in Washington, Washington State, and it's Bigfoot country up there. And I was talking to this old timer, and I was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen Bigfoot." I was like, "You've seen Bigfoot?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've seen Bigfoot." I was like, "You got any pictures of Bigfoot?" And he went, "No." Got me thinking. A lot of people have seen Bigfoot. We all have cell phones you can take pictures with. Why do we have no good photos of Bigfoot? And I got a theory. And the theory is because they always start with the mating call. They always walk to the edge of the woods and they're just like, oh, we're going to get Bigfoot out here by making him pretty horny. So, it'll work, you know. You got to go up so he knows you're down, you know. But here's where my theory kicks in. That's when Bigfoot shows up and fucks him. Consensually. You know, nothing weird, just some wholesome Americana cryptozoological bestiality, you know? Like a Bob Ross painting, right? Because Bigfoot shows up and he's ripped, right? We've all seen the jerky commercials. But it also turns out he's like a cool dude, too. Bigfoot's like, "Hey, man, do you like Miller Lite and football?" And you're like, "Hell yeah, I like Miller Lite and football, brother." Up and he's spinning a football on his finger like a Harlem Globetrotter, you know? You're like, "Ooh, I'm about to play catch with Sasquatch, hell yeah." You know, and you're playing catch with Sasquatch, you know. It gets a little competitive. You start, you know, getting a little rougher with it, and he tackles you, and you get wrapped up in his arms, you know. Oh, it's his big, big, strong arms. You know, it feels nice. You feel safe, right? Like you haven't felt this safe in years, not since the divorce. You know? Not since Deborah left, you know. Oh, and he's funny too, you know. Like he's actually fun. He's not quoting Anchorman or The Office, you know. Active listening, riffing, goofing, having a good time, you know. And the day goes on, you're no dummy. You're taking photos, you're taking video, and you're like, "Ooh, as soon as I get some service, I'm blowing this whole thing wide open." You know, and he's telling you stories, you're telling him stories, you're telling him things you've never told to anybody, because who's he gonna tell, right? Like, day turns to night. He's telling you about the time he was playing poker with Mothman. And you're like, "Well, that's kind of silly. Mothman can see the future. He's gonna know your cards." But Bigfoot knows that. He also knows that Mothman's having some financial trouble right now and is too proud to ask for help. You're sitting around the fire drinking some wine that Bigfoot made you, and you know it's not your favorite thing, but you know it's the thought that counts, really. You know. And Bigfoot's like, "I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go get something." And he gets up, and Bigfoot leaves, and you miss him a little bit already, which is weird, which is new, you know. And you let your mind wander. You're like, maybe me and Bigfoot can get a dog. I bet he knows the chupacabra. Get one of his pups, you know. And then Bigfoot comes back, and he's wearing a silk kimono, which is weird because he was just naked all day. Bigfoot sits down next to you a little closer than he was before, and you're like, "Ooh, what's this?" And he puts a hand on your leg, and you're like, "Ooh, what's this?" And then Bigfoot leans in, and to your surprise, you lean in too, and you end up kissing that great Florida skunk ape. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. You end up making love under the stars all night. It's passionate and it's glorious, and you wake up the next day and you're alone because you knew what this was. And you pull out your phone and you look at all the photos from your wonderful day, and you think to yourself, these aren't for the world. These are for me. And a tear rolls down your cheek as you delete all the evidence. At least that's why I think that dude didn't have any pictures of Bigfoot. I want that to catch on. So if you ever meet anybody that's like said they've seen Bigfoot but don't have any pictures, you just be like, I see you. I see you, little freak nasty. All right.